everyone, a very good morning to you all. Welcome to the second lecture of Performance Management paper of ACCA. I hope all of you are doing well. We are going to be resuming a discussion from where we left off in the previous class. I hope my screen is visible to all. Can someone please confirm? Yes, perfect. All right, so we had talked about the top three resources here, which are important to pass the exam, and that is trainings from VGLD, then ACCA Study Hub, and ACCA CBE Practice Platform. So I would want to start with you on one aspect which is commonly confused among the students. So let me open up an Excel. So as you must be aware that in section A and B, you may be asked to input some numbers. So I showed you the past papers and there you were supposed to input some numbers in boxes. And now those numbers have to be rounded off sometimes, right? So we are going to be doing this exercise together where you will tell me if you are getting this result while doing the calculations, what you would put in the answer box. Okay, so let's do it one by one. Everyone, please type your answers in the chat box. To number one, round it to the nearest dollar. While doing the calculations, you're getting the result 432.11. Tell me what you would put in the answer box. You have to round to the nearest dollar. We did it in our FM class, Vasha. This is PM, no? Okay. So all of you are right. This is 432. Okay. Then round it to 1 decimal, please. This is the number. What would you put? Round it to 1 decimal place. To 1 decimal place. You would want 1 decimal in your answer. Everyone, are you done? So the correct answer is 432.5. And I'll tell you what is the trick that you should keep in mind when doing the rounding off. So you have to round off, just look at my cursor very carefully. You have to round off up to this point where my cursor is. Correct? So when you have to round off up to this point, just look at the number immediately after that number. And what is it over here? 5. So if the number is 5 and above, we do upper rounding to this number. Upper rounding is applied to the number where you have to close the answer. So you will look at the number immediately after that point and see if it is 5 and above, then we do upper rounding, otherwise we do lower rounding. So this will become 432.5. Then next question. So those of you who said 432.4, I hope it is clear. I think I got one answer like that. Aryan, did you understand? Yes? Okay. Next one. Round it to the nearest $100. Now, very, very careful. Take a pause here. $100. You have to go this way. You have to go this way, where my cursor is. So what would you put? all of you are right. It will be 4,500. Now, what you have to do is look at what is this? Units place, tens place, and hundreds place, right? So I have to round off at this point. So you look at the number immediately after this point, and what is it? Less than 5. So then we do lower rounding off, and that would be 4,500. Okay. Next is rounded to the nearest $1,000. Rounded to the nearest $1,000. Tell me the answer to question number 4. 57,000. So all of you are right. Very good. It is 57,000. So what you have to do is $1,000. So unit, tens, hundreds, and thousands. So I have to round up to this point. So I have to look at the number immediately after this. Since it is 5 and above, therefore it will be upper rounded off, and we get the answer 57,000. See, I know it sounds very basic now, but the thing is, section A and B are evaluated by a computer. So if the question is asking you to do a specific rounding and you do not do it, you lose all your marks. And a lot of students face confusion in this. Everyone, please consider this as a very important discussion. It might be saving you many marks. Okay, next one. Round it to the nearest $1,000,000. And you have to write the answer in millions in the answer box. What would you do? You have to write the answer in millions in the answer box. What would you put inside the answer box? You have to write in millions. M is given outside the answer box. Quickly tell me, everyone. So I'm getting mixed answers here. Some of you are giving me 33, 6 10 zeros, and some of you are giving 33 M. So the correct answer is 33 M. So what you have to do is look at the millionth place. Okay. So this is the place where you have to do the rounding off. Because there are 6 digits after this, and 1,000,000 has got 6 zeros. So 32.7. You just have to look at this number. This number is 7, that is greater than 5. So it will be upper rounded off. And you have to write in millions. Be very, very careful. I put it in bold here. You have to write in millions. So the answer is 33, and not if so. If you're putting this, will be marked incorrect. You have to put the answer in millions of dollar. So this is your answer. So those of you like Halima, then I think the answer has been removed. So Halima, is it clear now? Are you able to follow? All right, perfect. Let's move to the next question, and that is rounded to the Can someone confirm if I'm audible? Am I audible? Please confirm. Yes, all right. Thanks. So rounded up to the nearest dollar. Rounded up to the nearest dollar. What would you put in the answer box? So absolutely right. It will be 433. So when you have to do round up, you do not even look at the number after the point of rounding off. It will always be taken up, whether it is 5 and above or even 4, 3, 2, 1. You will always take it up. Then rounded down to the nearest dollar. What would you put? Rounded down to the nearest dollar. Won't it be 431? You have to round down. Think about it. Won't it be 431? Four 432? All right. So yes, the answer is 432. Now be careful over here. It is to be rounded down to the nearest dollar. The nearest dollar will be what? Complete dollar. It will be 432 and not 431. So be careful over here. You don't look at the number after the point of rounding off. You just take the number as it is. Okay? Then this one. Rounded up to one decimal place. Rounded up to one decimal place. Tell me, everyone. Absolutely right. And that is 432.5. Very good. Rounded down to one decimal place. Question number 9. Rounded down to one decimal place. Very good. That is 432.4. Very good. Then rounded up to the nearest $1,000. Absolutely right. 57,000. I'll insert one more question over here. Rounded up to one decimal place. Rounded up to one decimal place. Think carefully. So absolutely right. It will be 432.5. It will be 432.5. So remember, you have to ignore what is the number after the point of rounding off. You always have to take it up, even if it is less than 5. So this will also be 432.5. Coming to question number 12 now. Rounded down to the nearest $1,000. Rounded down to the nearest $1,000. Absolutely right. 56,000. Rounded up to the nearest $100. Rounded up to the nearest $100. Very good. That would be 4,600. And rounded down to the nearest $100 finally. Last one. To the nearest $100. Very good. That would be 4,500. So all of you said it right. All of you said it right. Now, any day, if you feel confusion, whether it should be 432 or 433, whatever the numbers that we have concluded over here, there is an Excel formula to it. Okay? And I'm going to tell you that formula, how to use it. And it will work on the practice platform also, or in the exam also, in section C, where you have a word, where you have a spreadsheet. So if you get any confusion in mind, you can always use these functions in exam. So round it to the nearest dollar. So this will be what? Round. Use the round function. Select the number. I don't want any decimal place, right? So it will be comma 0. I don't want any decimal place, so it will be 0. That is 432. Okay. So basically 0 represents the decimal point. Do you want something to the right of it? Yes or no? You don't. So you're putting 0. Then round it to one decimal place. So what the formula will be, tell me? What will I put? I have to want one decimal place in the answer. What should I put after the comma in the formula? Round. I selected the number. Now what should I put? How many digits? Absolutely right. That would be 1. That would be 1. Next, round it to the nearest $100. What will I put in the formula? Round, comma, how many decimal places? This is tricky. I don't want decimal places, that is there. But I also don't want units place and tens place. 2 places on the left of decimal I don't want. So what should I put in the bracket? Make a guess. I don't want decimals, yes, but I also don't want units place number and tens place number. If I put 2, then it will take me up to 2 decimal places. So what should I put inside the bracket? Okay, so I'm getting multiple suggestions. Let's try them. Round, comma, comma, 0. The formula is incorrect. Don't return any value. It's not correct. Comma 0 0. That is, I'm putting 2 commas. 0 0 or 0 0 0 0 0. All of them are 0. It will give me 430 4533. It's not giving me the number that I want. So let me tell you. You are going to the left of 0. Now imagine a number line in your mind. I am going to the left of 0. The decimal point. I told you the decimal point is 0. So I'm going to the left of 0, that is 1 and 2. So what do I put here? Minus 2. It's minus 2. Okay. So this is something new which you have learned today. Because you are going to the left, imagine a number line in your mind. So how does a number line look like? Let me just put it here for you. Is this how a number line looks like? Yes? What I've put below? So I told you that this 0 is the decimal point. Now if I want 2 decimal place, I do 1, 2. I put 2. Now I want hundreds place. So I have to go to the left of the decimal and therefore I have to put minus 2. I hope it is clear now. I hope it is clear now. Please confirm. Just teaching you how to use this Excel formula. Let me know if you're done. Any doubts? Yes? Perfect. Then you guys try this one. 56,742. I have to round to the nearest $1,000. What will I put inside the bracket? What should I put here? If I put 3, so Pratik, I'll get answer up to 3 decimal places. I have to go to the left. So I have to put -3. Very good. So this will be -3. Now, round it to the nearest $1 million. So what will I put here? Round it to the nearest $1 million. I have to go back 6 places to the left of the decimal point. So Pratik, what will it be? 6 or -6? Very good. It will be -6. Okay. But then I get this 33 million, like with zeros, but I don't want the zeros. So what I can do is, just to teach you something, if I have to like remove 6 zeros, I will do divided by 10 raised to the power. I showed you the symbol in the last class. Raised to the power, it is available on shift and 6. Raised to the power of 6. Okay, this we might be using in some places. Just know this how we use it. I have to remove 6 places, so I do divided by 10 to the power of 6. Now, rounded up to the nearest dollar. So just like we have the round formula, we also have the round up formula. We select the number. I don't want any decimal place. Okay, so what will I put? 0. That is 433. Then round it down to the nearest dollar. Similarly, I have a round down formula in Excel. I select it, comma, 0, 432. Now you try this one. Round it to 1 decimal place, round it up to 1 decimal place. Tell me what would the answer be? Like, what should I put in the formula? What should I put in the formula? Round up, select the number, comma, 1. Very good. So that would be 1. 432.5. Now it will be very simple. Rounded up to 1 decimal place. No matter what, I just have to put the same number. It is 432.5. Then rounded down to 1 decimal place. What will I put? Round down function, comma, 1. Okay. Rounded up to the nearest $1,000. What will I put here? Round up to the nearest $1,000. Tell me, what do I put inside the, put after the bracket? Sorry, comma. Aryan, 3 or -3? Very good. It will be -3. Okay. Do not get confused. Round it down to the nearest dollar, $1,000. So it will be round down, comma, -3. Rounded up to the nearest $100. So it will be round up function, comma, -2. And this will be round down, comma, -2. This is 4,500. So this is from your mind that you've put the numbers one by one. You can use also formula for that. Okay. So this is something which you need to know from exam point of view, because a lot of the questions in section A and B will require you to do rounding off. So any type of rounding, whatever that comes, keep the logic in mind. Up to what point you have to do the rounding off, and what is the number immediately after that point. If whether it is 5 and above, so you do upper rounding off. If it is less than 5, you do lower rounding off. Okay. Now that is one thing that I wanted to discuss with you. Now I'll come back to the The next resource which you see here is ACCA Examiner's Report. So I'll show you where you can get it. So do it along with me. Type accaglobal.com. Type accaglobal.com in your browser and enter. Okay. Then on this page, hover over students part, students, and then scroll down to study support resources. Study support resources and click on this. And then you click on ACCA qualification. Then select the paper, which is performance management for us. And then if you scroll down on this page, everyone please confirm if you're with me on this page, which you're seeing on my screen. All of you have reached this. Yes, Sharon is there. Others? All right. So scroll down now and you will see technical articles over here, technical articles and topic explainers. And below that, there is an examiner's report. So both of these are fourth and fifth resources that you need to pass the exam. Now I'll show you them one by one. So first we go through the examiner's report. Let's click on this. So in the previous class, I showed you how you can see past papers on the ACCA practice platform, right? So what ACCA does is it also releases examiner's report. And what is examiner's report? Examiner's report is basically examiner's point of view of the student's performance in the exam. What is it? It is the examiner's point of view on the student's performance in the exam. And if you look at it, so they're telling what type of questions came and how did the students perform on it. Okay. So let me just show you some type of feedback that they would have given that a lot of students made this type of mistakes. So for all the questions which came in the exam, see, you can see point by point, question by question, they are discussing what the answer should be. So the question was when host company, which we can see on the practice platform also. The full questions and solutions have been published and are available as I showed you that day. So we company and so what are they suggesting? Look at this. It is essential that use of the spreadsheet software is practiced, which I've been telling you. It is practiced as part of exam preparation to ensure the complex formulas such as those required in part A can be worked with smoothly. As I've been telling you, not to use pen and paper anymore. We'll be learning some formula. And if you are able to use it in the on the Excel software, only then it's good. Otherwise, you will struggle in exam. So that is what even the examiner's team is telling us. Okay. Then so it is now telling, for example, this particular question, part C. Strong responses, that means students who did well in this question. So, strong responses to this requirement used the information provided in the scenario to highlight aspects such as the work is physically demanding and so perhaps the staff should be paid more, and when company has competition and could lose staff to them if it does not pay well enough. These pieces of information will enable a factor to be fully discussed and hence 2 marks to be achieved. So the examiner's team is telling us how and what you should write in your answer to secure marks. Okay. And if you go through 1 or 2 articles like this, you will get a feeler of what students normally do good. See this one again. A good response provided. That means this is what the students who performed well in this question did. That they provided a clear presentation of a profit statement with a column for each of the 2 divisions and for carrying company as a whole. So the examiner team tells that formatting your answer properly, giving it in a clear manner. Now, formatting doesn't mean beautification, it means that you are giving it in a way which is easy to understand. Okay. Responses to this requirement were generally good with most candidates calculating the correct transfer price. The main source of lost marks was not following the requirement to prepare a profit statement with interdivisional and external sales and costs separated. So what does it show? That a lot of students, they do not even read the question correctly. So what do you realize? That you do not have to make that mistake. Anyways, I will keep telling you all these things along the classes. But when you read these 1 or 2 articles, you understand that, okay, other students make this mistake. I don't have to do it. Okay. So be careful about this, that you read the requirement, because if you do not read the requirement and you answer as per your own wishes, you will not get marks. Examiner will give you 0 only. So some of the common mistakes, see, including interdivisional transfers with external sales, stating carrying company's profit as the total of the 2 divisions without preparing a profit statement, including interdivisional transactions in profit statement, using a per unit basis. So you may not understand what these are right now, but after a few topics have been covered in the syllabus, you'll be able to relate to this much more. So maybe in the middle of the course or maybe after the course completion, I would suggest reading 1 or 2 examiner's report, because it gives you insights into what some students are doing well and some students are not doing well. And you have to do what is good and ignore what is not. Okay. So this is using an incorrect profit statement format. So this is something you can refer to. I hope it is clear. So it's just for your knowledge that this is a resource which is published by ACCA Examiner's Team. Now, the next aspect which I want to discuss, next in the last aspect, is technical articles and topic explainers. So if I just click on it, you will see a long list of hyperlinks over here: big data, information system, activity-based costing, target costing, throughput accounting. And let me tell you, these are all topics in your syllabus. All of these which you're seeing here: environmental management accounting, then relevant cost, pricing, CVP analysis, linear programming, risk of uncertainty, all of them are topics in your syllabus. So if you want to read about any particular article topic in detail, you can refer to these articles. Rest assured, everything is gonna get covered in the class, whatever is needed from exam point of view. But if you are interested and intrigued by a certain topic and you want to read more about it, okay, so you can come to this list. Unit wise, they have given some hyperlinks here: regression and correlation, time series and moving average. You can read about them. So for example, let's open this one: time series and moving average. So once the topic is done in the class and you want to read more about it, maybe you are traveling or maybe you are having lunch alone and you're just scrolling through articles on your phone, consider going through these articles. Very detailed. So let's just see what is given here. Time series analysis can be used to analyze historic data and establish any underlying trend and seasonal variations within the data. So they are telling you, and they will explain to you the topic in such length, in detail, that it becomes crystal clear. So calculating moving averages, creating a table, how, they have taken up a question also for solving. Okay, so what are the steps? So, for example, the average needs to be calculated for each 3-month period. To do this, you move your average calculation down 1 month. So, the next calculation will involve this. So, very detailed. What I would be telling to you in class, again, all of that is written by word, and you can go through it, calculate the trend, the seasonal variation, what it means. So, it's a very good article that will give you an in-depth understanding of the topic. Such length, lot of examples, and very, very simple, lucid language that you can read to understand in much more detail. Okay, so this is available over here. I would suggest that if you're having some free time, go through it and use it to your best. Okay, so these are the top 5 resources which you need to pass the ACCA PM exam. Okay, now I want to discuss a few things with you. Again, class 5 maths, but very, very important. I'm going to be teaching you a trick that I'm going to use, and that will be useful for you not just in the PM paper, but in a lot of ACCA papers. Let me assure you that I use this even with my AFM APM students. Okay, so please follow this trick very closely. You will find it useful, and I'll keep telling this to you that you can easily apply this proportion formula, which I'm going to explain to you in this question, that question, and everywhere. Because it's that adaptable. It's not just any one topic, it's very adaptable, and therefore it gets application in a lot of concepts. Okay, now just to give you a context, yes, you will get this sheet. Yes, so I discussed rounding off over here. It's in the same sheet, so I'll share it across with you, don't worry. Okay, so markup. So now two concepts to understand here: markup and margin. Both of them denote profit. Okay, both of them denote profit. It's just that principally markup percentage is applied on cost and margin percentage is applied on selling price. Okay, markup is applied on cost and margin is applied on selling price. Now, example, cost is 100 and markup is given to you as 20%. Can you tell me what the selling price would be? Can you tell me what the selling price would be quickly? So all of you are telling me 120, and that is right. Now you tell me one thing, how did you solve for it? Like, how did you get 120? What formula you applied? How did you calculate 120? You did it in your mind maybe because it was an easy number. So let me tell you one thing, few very, very simple things. So markup, one way is you could have said that it is 100 into 20%. Okay, I calculated 100 into 20% first, and some of you might have done it. So 100 into 20%, and I can say the selling price would be cost plus the markup, which is 120. Okay, and what I've done is 100 plus 100 into 20%. Right, this is what I've done. Cost plus 100 into 20%. Now, Can I write it like this? How many of you did it using this formula? I saw some of you respond and you did 100 into 1.2. Very good. Anyone who did using this approach in mind, maybe if I would have just complicated the number, if I would have put 45,200, then maybe you would have done this. Anyone who goes by this logic, 45,200 plus? So basically, anyone who would have done this? It's okay. You can let me know if you're following this. 45,200 plus 45,200 into 20%. Anyone for this? No one. All right, very good. Smart. So Control Z, Control Z. So can I say, in essence, what am I doing is 100 plus 100 into 20%. I put 100 outside the bracket, and can I do it, write it like this? 1 plus 20%. So in short, can I say it is 100 into 1.2 or 1 plus 20%? Okay. What am I doing here? 100 into 1 plus 20%. I hope this is clear to everyone. All of you are able to follow me. Let me know, please. I've put the derivation also here for you to follow from where it is coming. Yes? So what I've done is 100, open bracket, 1 plus 20%. Okay. That was very simple. Next question. Selling price 100, margin is 20%. What is the cost? What is the cost? 80? Absolutely right. All of you are right. So, margin will be 100 into 20%, 20. So, cost will be selling price minus the margin, that is 80. Okay. This is one way, very simple way to solve. But in essence, what I have done is 100 minus 100 into 20%. So I can write it like this also, 100 common and then open bracket 1 minus 20%. And therefore, this is what I've done inside the Excel formula here. 100 into 1 minus 20%. 1 minus 20% is nothing but 80%. Are you all with me so far? Please confirm. Both the examples absolutely clear? Yes? All right. Now let's move to the next question here. Selling price is 100. Markup is 32%. Tell me the cost. Selling price is 100. Markup is 32%. Tell me what is the cost. Whatever answer you share the formula also that you applied. Let me know, please. Give it a try. Let me know. So 100 into 0.68, or someone has given 100 divided by 1.32. Okay, so I've got Supratik and Varsha telling me 75.75 and Saurav telling me 68. I'm waiting for some more answers. Please tell me. Okay, so I'll tell you what you have to do is, and this is where I'm telling you the trick which you will be following across a lot of topics, a lot of subjects. And what is that? You obviously have done it in your class 5, 6 maths. It's just that you consider it as a revision and something that is applicable in your professional course also. Now, step one, two-step process, which, please listen to me carefully. Whichever value the percentage is applied on. So, markup is applied on what? Cost. So, whichever value the percentage is applied on, assume it to be 100. Maybe you would have assumed it to be X, but going forward, you have to assume it to be 100. Okay. Whichever value the percentage is applied on, assume it to be 100. Then, let cost be 100. And in that case, what will be the markup? The markup will be 100 into 32%. What will it be? 100 into 32%, because I can apply this percentage of markup on the cost and I'm assuming the cost to be 100. In that case, markup will be 32. In that case, selling price will be 132. Correct? Very easy. Now, step 2 will be what? Please look at this very, very carefully. I've put it in a highlight because of a reason. This is something that you have to carry forward. Given value. What is the given value? Selling price. This was given to you. So given value divided by representative multiplied with the requirement. Representative of 100 is what in my assumption? It is 132. And what do I want as the answer? The question is asking me cost. So I multiply with cost. So divided by 132 into 100. Now, whatever logic you may know, whatever it is, all of us, we are going to follow this uniform across all the topics, because given value divided by representative into requirement is something which falls in, which you'll get correct answers in any situation. So going forward, this is what we are going to be following. Please take a minute, observe what I've done and let me know if you're clear. Then I'll move to the next example. Yes, this is unitary method only. I'm just trying to standardize it by giving this nomenclature. Given value divided by representative into requirement. And let me tell you, I've been using it since what? My CPT days. That was in 2000, what? 13. And it's been very, very helpful for me. Take a look at it. Let me know if it's fine. It is unitary method only. I'm just trying to standardize it so that I can put it across any concept. So instead of X, assuming something to be X, we are assuming it to be 100 and doing the unitary calculation. Varsha, is clear? Everyone, take your time. I don't want to hurry this because it's a very important aspect. Take your time, let me know whenever you're done. And if there is any query, let me know. Done, everyone? Let me know if there is any doubt, I'll take it up. If it's clear, then message me an okay so that I can move to the next example. Done? All right. So I'll move to the next one now. This is your next example. The highlighted part, look at this. Cost is 100. Margin is 29%. What is the selling price? What is the selling price? Quickly solve it. Solve it using the steps I have put above. All of you, please apply the steps. Step 1 and 2 and solve. All of you, message me your answers, please, in the chat. Okay, very well done. So, what you have to do is, again, the same steps, very simple. Step 1 is whichever value the percentage is applied on, assume it to be 100. So, in this case, margin is the percentage which applies on selling price. So, let selling price be 100. Then margin will be 29. And in that case, the cost becomes what? 100 minus 29, which is 71. Now what you have to do is apply this formula given value. What is the given value? 100. What is its representative? 71. Multiply with the requirement. You have to find out selling price. So multiply with 100. Okay. If it had asked me what is margin, I would have multiplied with margin here. because I have to multiply with the requirement. So whatever is asked for you, you just multiply it with that values representative. Okay, so yes, all of you are right. The answer is 140.85. This sheet is very, very important. It will come handy to you in a lot of cases. So please make sure you are clear with this concept of given value by representative multiply with the requirement. Okay. Now on that note, let's come back to our slides. So we have covered all of this, all of these 5 parts. Now moving on, what are the skills required what are the skills required to pass the exam? So first one is practice the questions on Excel Word. We have already covered that in length that you're going to be practicing on Excel or Word. Okay. No, no, not necessarily. Okay, let me give you one more example over here. Let's come back. Okay, I'll change the question slightly. Try to apply it here. Um, Debt. Wait a second. Material A comprises material A comprises 40% of material A and B comprise 40% and 60% of raw material requirement respectively. If material A is 850 kg, then how much of material B would be required? Tell me this now. I've completely changed it. So Pratik says 1275. Everyone gives this one a try. Apply the formula which is there on your screen. Step 1 and step 2. If you keep using this formula, there will come a time you don't even need to apply step 1 specifically. Step 2 will come to you naturally. Quickly solve it. I'm giving you all 2 minutes. Please solve it. I want answers from all of you to this one. Solve and share your answers. So very good. All of you are telling me 1275. So what are the two steps? Whichever value the percentage is applied on, assume it to be 100. So here 40% and 60% will be of the total requirement. So let total requirement be 100. Then material A would be 40% of this, and material B would be 60% of this. Correct? Now what you have to do is same logic. Same logic. What is the given value? Material A is given as 850 kg. So given value divided by representative multiplied with requirements. 1275. Saurabh, did you get the answer to your question? Yes? So it can change. Whatever it is, you just have to apply this logic. Whatever value the percentage applies on, assume it to be 100, and then find out the given value and the representative value, and use the question's given value divided by representative, multiply with the requirement. So this is the answer, 1275 kg. Okay. All right. Now coming back. So what are the skills required to pass the exam? Practice the questions on Excel and Word so that your typing skill improves. You become accustomed to using the formula in Excel. Okay. And computer-based exam doesn't look like a surprise to you. The next is one idea per mark, quality over quantity. This is specifically relevant for section C questions where you have to write descriptive answers. Now, let me be very clear. It's not expected that you write lengthy answers to score marks. You need to present unique ideas and thoughts in your answer to score the marks. Okay? So, if a question is coming to you for 5 marks, ideal length, because I get this a lot of times, ma'am, what is the ideal length of an answer? The ideal length of an answer in this case will be 5 paragraphs. 5 paragraphs? No. It doesn't mean that you have to write long poetry or prose type of paragraphs. Very simple. Each paragraph will comprise of about 1 to 2 sentences. Each paragraph, 1 to 2 sentences. And what is the logic that you have to follow in writing the answer? First statement will be the fact. Okay, whatever is asked of you. Let's say you are asked about the limitations of something. So this is the limitation, and then second statement of that paragraph will be why is this point a limitation? So this is the logic you're going to follow across all your answers in section C, because I know students struggle the most with section C at the skills level. So I'm dedicatedly telling you what you have to do in writing your answer, and develop that mindset throughout the practice sessions that we're going to have. So what you will do is, if the question is for 5 marks, attempt should be for 5 paragraphs. But if you are writing in 4, a slightly detailed paragraph form, so that is also okay. So 4 to 5 paragraphs should be your target, and each paragraph should comprise of 1 to 2 sentences. And what would that format be? State the fact and state why is this a limitation. This is because something like that. You just have to stretch on that point. It doesn't mean you have to be repetitive, like I am Anushka Jain, people call me Anushka Jain, my parents named me Anushka Jain. Not like that. I'm just not telling you to make it a lengthy paragraph. I'm telling you to write in crisp sentences, okay, and put your point across. Okay, so one idea per mark. As I told you, if it's a 5 mark question, write in 5 unique points. and quality over quantity. And how do you achieve that? State the fact and state why is this the limitation or whatever that they have asked you. Then use headings and paragraphs. This I have already covered. You have to make your answer neat and easy for the examiner to follow. You have to make his or her life easy. So, whenever you are writing your points, now let's say we are writing the limitations only. When you're writing the limitations, give subheadings, 2 word, 2 to 3 word subheadings, and that's okay. But writing that, it just makes the examiner understand, okay, the student has covered this point in this paragraph, this point in this paragraph. And that becomes very eye-catchy. And it's easier for them to award marks to you. So use headings and paragraphs. And when I say paragraphs, it doesn't have to be long prose, simple 1 to 2 sentences per paragraph. Okay. Then label and cross-reference workings. So you have to do a lot of workings in some questions in section C specifically. Then in that case, when you're writing your answer, you should always give note number. If you have covered something in a note, it should be mentioned that it is covered in this note number 1, note number 2. And when you do the calculations below, give them headings, note number 1, note number 2. Do not clutter your main answer because sometimes there are supporting calculations required. You should put the supporting calculations in a note and not in the main answer. Okay. Then rule of elimination in objective test questions. Very important. What it means is, see, sometimes no matter how much you study, no matter how clear you are in the concepts, it might so happen that there comes a question that you have absolutely no idea about. Okay, you know about the topic slightly, but you're not able to get to the right answer. See, ideal situation should be what you read the question and you're able to select the right answer. But it sometimes happens that no matter how much you've studied, you're not able to crack a particular question, and it will happen to all of you. So be prepared for that. So in that case, what you are going to do is you are going to follow the rule of elimination. And what is it? How to follow it? So let's say a particular question has got 4 options to it, A, B, C, D. You read each of the options and you're not able to arrive at one right answer. So what you should do, follow the rule of elimination. How? You read a particular point. You read it, okay, point D is saying this and this, and you realize that this in no form and manner can be the right answer. So you eliminate it. Then you read point A, you feel that, okay, now even I'm not able to figure this out. This should not be the right answer. Then you're left with what? B and C. B and C are slightly confused. You have broken in both the parts, like it could be B also, it could be C also. Now you're not able to make up your mind. So there you might exercise some guesswork. If you're able to arrive at the exact answer, well and good. But sometimes you can't help it. You have to do some guesswork. Now you do the guesswork between B and C. The probability of you getting it right is 50%. Whereas if you were doing this guesswork out of 4 options, the probability of you getting right is 25%. So where is the probability high? When you're doing the guesswork between 2 options. So please follow this logic, follow the rule of elimination in objective test questions. You eliminate the incorrect choices and then you select the right option if very clearly you're not able to get the right answer in the first go. Am I clear to all of you? Rule of elimination, is it clear? What happened? Yes? Okay. Now, next is use formula like sum, NPV, IRR. We're going to learn some formula in the class. So you will apply that in the spreadsheet. I'll tell you only those formula that will work. If something is not going to work and although it works in Excel, I'll not teach you that. So don't worry. If I'm teaching you something in class, it will definitely work in your exam. Still, you have a doubt that I'm not sure whether it will work. So what you should do is You should go to the practice platform, put in the data and try applying the formula. It will definitely give you the answer whether or not it will work. Okay, so if you have any doubt any day, like whether I'll be able to do this or that in the exam, just log into the practice platform and give it a try. If it is working on the practice platform, it will definitely work in the real exam. Okay, so that is about the skills required to pass the exam. Moving on, next slide is on time allocation. How much time do you have in exam? 3 hours. So I can say 3 hours or 180 minutes, 3 into 60 minutes in each hour. That is 180 minutes. And what is the number of marks that you have to attempt for? 100. So can I say each mark on an average should take 1.8 minutes? 180 divided by number of marks. So 1.8 minute per mark. So what you have to do? You cannot follow this 1.8 minute per mark rule at a question level. So you are going to follow it at a section level. Section A, B, C. Section A has 15 questions, or you can say 30 marks. So 30 into 1.8 is 54. So section A total should take 54 minutes. Then section B also 30 marks. That is 54 minutes. And section C is of 40 marks. So 40 into 1.8, that is 72 minutes. This is the breakup that you're going to follow for section A, B, and C. A, 54 minutes, B, 54 minutes, and C, 72 minutes. This number 54, 54, 70, 72 should be imprinted in your mind, because you are going to stick to the schedule very, very strictly. And I'll tell you why it is important. Because examiner doesn't give you extra marks for doing any one section or any one question very nicely. So you also need to devote adequate time to each question. Okay, it's not like if you give a lot of time to question number 5, the examiner will give you extra marks. It will never happen. So try to attempt all the questions. Question number 1 till question number 32, 33, 34, how many questions come in the exam. You have to give each one of them some time so that you are able to attempt more and more marks. Now you tell me one very simple thing. Is it easy to score 50, which is your passing marks, out of a 70 attempted paper, or 50 out of a 90 attempted paper? Where do you think the probability of you passing will be higher? 50 out of 70 very good attempted paper, and 50 out of 90 out of a complete and normally attempted paper. Where do you think you'll get the marks? Higher marks, or the probability of you passing is more? I'm talking about probabilities here. What do you think? The probability of you passing by appearing for 70 marks is higher or 90 marks is higher? It's a very simple question. Of course, 90. Yes, if you are able to write for 90 marks, for you to get 50 marks out of 90 will be easier, no? Rather than 50 out of 60 or 70. So don't think that you're going to you're going to cover just section A and B in exam, that is 60 marks, and you think that you're going to pass. It won't happen. You have to attempt all the questions, and for that you have to manage your time very well. And I'll tell you how to do that. So let's say you are starting section A at 9 o'clock. You're starting section A at 9 o'clock. So at 9:54 a.m., however questions you are able to attempt, that's it. Complete whichever question is in hand and move to the next section, section B. Again, section B, it will take about 54 minutes. Then, if you're able to, let's say, complete section B sooner, and you've got some extra time left, you can come back to section A from till where you left off, you complete the balance. So you have to manage time very, very closely. Otherwise, you will end up losing marks because you have not attempted the full paper. So section A 54, section B 54, section C 72. And if you're able to save time in any particular section, you can of course come back to the earlier section and complete the paper. So for that, you have to manage time. You have to give due importance to each question. Okay. Attempt the questions in any order. You may go for section A, question number 7 first, and then section C, question number 2 first. That's completely on you. No one is going to tell you that, okay, you have to follow this particular order only. No, you can follow whichever you are comfortable with. So I would suggest to figure out a few things before you go for the real exam. Maybe through the practice of mock papers or practice exam, as I showed you on the practice platform, they are all available to you. So the best approach would be to figure out what you are going to follow in the exam before the exam. So maybe in one of the papers that you practice, writing section A questions first is better for you, then section B and then section C. And maybe in another mock exam that you try, you find that, okay, attempting section C question first gives me more comfort. So that's on you. You have to decide what works for you the most. So approach should be to attempt easier ones first to make yourself reach a comfortable spot with marks. So try to attempt easier questions and you reach a comfortable spot that okay, I've attempted for so many marks, I'll definitely complete the balance of the paper and pass the paper. So that should be your approach. Please tell me if I'm clear. Anyone having any doubt? My suggestion would be what I've observed over time is go for section A first, then section B, and then section C. This is what I've seen working for most of the students, but again, to each his own. Figure this out for yourself, what you are more comfortable with. Are you comfortable with writing long answers in the beginning of the paper itself so that your mind becomes free, or you want to keep it for the last? That means I've scored this many marks in section A and B. Now I'll spend so much time in section C answers. So that type of approach you can also consider. But then you have to make that choice for yourself before the exam and not during the exam. I'm telling you, students do all this. Okay, let me try section A first, then suddenly they'll jump to section B, then they'll jump to section C. It shouldn't be like that. Whichever section you pick up, you complete it fully, and then you move to the next section. Okay, so approach should be to attempt easier questions first to make yourself comfortable and reach a spot where you're okay, I'm gonna pass this paper. So that should be your time allocation skills. Please let me know if it is clear. Anyone having any query? No queries. Okay. Then let's move to the next and the last slide from this deck, and that is the question verbs. I'm sure if you remember the practice exam that I had opened up, there were question verbs like advise, calculate, describe or discuss, then evaluate. All of these types of question verbs will be given to you that you have to do this in the question. Okay. So if the verb which comes to you is advise, then what will you do? You have to tell someone what you think they should do in a given scenario. Okay. You have to give advice that, okay, I feel that you should do this. When I say I, it means a finance or a performance consultant, and the person sitting in front of you may be the CFO or maybe the CEO of the company. That okay, this is my suggestion, you should do this. The company should do this in the given situation. Then second type of word which can come in exam is analyze. Break an issue into multiple parts. Discuss the current situation. If the question is asking you to analyze, then you need to break the issue into multiple parts. That means you have to do the discussion in detail for each of these parts as per the question's requirement. Okay? Then the third type of verb is apply. If a question asks you to apply a concept to a given question, you do that as it is to score the marks. So put a concept into action as per the question's requirement. Then assess. Judge the importance of an issue. You have to assess that, okay, whether it is an important thing or not. Then discuss. Argue about the pros and cons of an issue, like what are the advantages and limitations of a particular model. It's maybe, for example, throughput accounting. So you're telling the pros and you are asked to discuss about throughput accounting. So what you would do is explain throughput accounting in 1 or 2 sentences, and then you will talk about their advantages and disadvantages. So in that way, the answer becomes complete in discussion question. Then estimate. Calculate an approximate value, mentioning assumptions if any taken. So if you are doing some sort of um, calculation, then the verb could be given to you as either calculates or estimates. So you have to do the answer accordingly. Then evaluate. Evaluate is quite similar to analyze, sorry, to this one. Discuss. Evaluate is quite similar to discuss. Here also you have to talk about the right and the wrong and why something is right or wrong. And last type of verb which you should be aware of are explain and recommend. Explain is as if you are making a concept clear to a layman. Okay, so like what I do in the classes, do what? Explain to you. I consider all of you as laymen, someone who doesn't know anything, and I'm explaining the topic to you. And if you are asked to do that in exam, what would you do? You will explain the concept to them. So if the question is asking you to explain this, you explain it in detail for that person to understand. And recommend is same as advise. You have to recommend a course of action to maybe the MD of the company, to maybe the CEO of the company, to maybe the CFO of the company. So that is your role if you are asked to recommend or advise someone on something. Now, please tell me if the question verb slide is clear to you all. Please confirm. Go through it and let me know if it's fine. Go through each of these words. If you're able to understand what you will be required to write if a question comes on this, then let me know. Varsha is clear. What about others? Take your time. No hurry. I'm here. So Pratik is also clear. All right. So it's clear to you all. Very good. So with that, we come to the end of the orientation session. And we'll take a break here now. And post the break, we are going to be starting off chapter number 1 of the syllabus, and that is MIS and data collection. Okay, so let's break for 10 minutes and we'll continue. Okay, so see you after the break. All right. So Saurav has a doubt. Saurav says, are we going to do any specific notes for theory part? It's really difficult to crack that part. Are the VG learning resources sufficient for cracking this exam? As you said, only one resource will be more than sufficient, along with ACC Study Hub, Examiner, Practice Question. So, yes. And what I'm going to do with you, and what I do with the students, is that after every chapter is complete, and this is a request to all of you, and this is a collective effort that you guys need to put together. And I'll tell you what the strategy is going to be. After every chapter is complete, you all will draft summarized theory notes for the chapter and do it after each chapter so that it becomes very easy for you to do it. And in this way, because I've told you, you have to solve practical questions, right, after chapter completion. So before you opt for those practical questions, you will prepare summary notes for the entire chapter. You may not cover the practical part. Practical part, anyways, you'll be solving in questions. So for the theory, for example, the first topic which we have is information system. So one liner information system explanation. Okay, definitions anyways is there in the flashcards, or maybe some sort of like limitations of information system, giving example. So you note down those information system limitations in your Excel summary sheet. And after that, all of you, please share your summary sheet in the WhatsApp group. Okay. And it is possible that when you go through someone else's WhatsApp, this summary notes, you get to pick up a point which you may not have covered in the summary. And then this way you will develop such good quality notes for yourself, and it's really, really helpful. So you can work collaboratively on this, prepare summary notes, and share it across in the WhatsApp group, and you read each other's notes. You will learn a lot. Your concepts will keep on getting revised and revised. You may find out some notes, find out some points which you might have missed. Content wise, the book is sufficient, that's for sure, Saurav. But for creating summary notes, because last minute revision, I don't want you to be creating last minute notes. So one thing you can do is prepare those notes right after the chapter is complete and before you hop on to the practice part. So chapter completion, and then you prepare the notes, and then you go for chapter questions. And also what we can do is you share across these notes in the group, and all of you can read each other's notes and incorporate any good point, or maybe you can remove something if you feel that extra I have built into my notes. That is something you can do. Okay, so we're going to follow that. And okay, so that is what we're going to do. Okay, Saurav? Yes. And it's a sincere request to all of you, and it will help. It's not just some one person, it will help. It will help all of you if you're able to do that. It will bring collaboration, and you will also get to know your peers who are studying for the same paper. Because having a good study partner is equally important, because you keep getting small doubts, and if you just have a good study partner, and you will be able to find that only if you do these types of activities. If you get a small doubt, you can just quickly text that person that, have you done this question, what did you do here? So having a good study partner is always the best thing. It helps you till the exam. Okay, so this is something which you all can do. Okay, so moving on now. Yeah, so we will start off with the first chapter. So I will now share across the PPT that we were discussing, and also the formula sheet. So the formula sheet has got two more tabs. One is your balance sheet and PNL, and another one is formulae. So formulae we will keep covering along with the classes. Okay, so I'm still sharing it, but don't think that it's something that you have done. It's just that it's chapter wise, but I don't want to wait till the last chapter to be completed for me to share this sheet with you. So I'll share across this Excel, and you can save it at your side. Okay. So the Excel sheet and the PPT, I'm gonna share with the admin team. So I'll share it with Sandeep, and then they'll share it with you. Are we clear? So they upload it on the uh, Google Drive, and they give you the access of that. So the admin team will do it. I'll share the notes with them. And we follow the same strategy. After every chapter is complete, I share across the notes. The reason is because I keep making changes in Excel, or, for example, like we were adding that example today, towards the end of the formula thing, which I explained to you. So after the chapter is complete, I'll share the notes with the team. Okay. Okay, let's begin. So the first chapter that we have here is Management Information System and Data Analytics. So the first chapter, or first few chapters, they actually tend to be a little theoretical. You won't get a lot of practice questions, so it gets a little monotonous. It's just me talking. So you have to bear with that. I mean, normally I appreciate a two-ways class, like I give you some questions to practice and then you solve and share your answers. But that's not possible in the first few chapters. So it's going to be more like a monologue from my side. So still, of course, as I keep saying, you get any doubt, please message me and I'll take it up. Okay. So information systems. So information systems consist of computer hardware and software along with communication networks designed to collect, store, process and communicate information. So what is it saying? So it's information system. It comprises of a few things. One is the hardware. So in our case, so like all of us, we are connected using the internet right now. So we are using a laptop. Within laptop, we are using the Zoom software, and the communication network is the internet. And this comprises an information system. So we are talking about a class, but in organizations, in the same way, all the computers are connected to the information system, and that creates an information system of an organization. The collection of all the computers, all the softwares, all the information together comprise the information system. So information systems consist of computer hardware and software along with communication networks designed to collect. So we collect the information, we store the information, we process and communicate information. An information system is more than just a computerized application. Information technology is prevalent in modern information systems and can support all levels of management. Information systems provide the necessary information to assist management in the following areas. Planning. So setting the organization's long-term strategic direction and planning for the medium and short term. Okay, so information system allows the organization in doing planning activity. And control of the organization. Monitoring how the organization is performing against the plan and taking actions to correct any significant deviations from the plan. See, wherever you have a plan, it's very important to have a control mechanism. Otherwise, planning is of no use. So let's say you plan to study for 7 hours in a day. You make that plan very detailed. Every day I will cover this topic, that topic, and you make that complete schedule for yourself. That plan itself will not yield you results unless you work on it. So let's say you start studying. Maybe today you just study for 2 hours, tomorrow you study for 8 hours, next day you study for 4 hours. So in this way, you are making some progress. Now, controlling would mean your actual coverage of the syllabus versus the planned coverage of the syllabus. That is a control activity. Only if you are controlling your performance, that means to see that whether you are right on track and you're not deviating from the plan, then only you will be able to succeed. So, control of the organization means monitoring how the organization is performing against the plan and taking action. So, let's say you do the control activity and you find that okay, I am lagging behind a few subjects or few topics, and I need to do this to rectify the situation. So that's what the second part is, taking actions to correct any significant deviations from the plan. Then third is decision making. So information systems are used for planning, controlling, and decision making. So decision making is what? Enabling managers to make informed decisions at various levels by providing them with relevant information. Okay, so that is what information system does. It supports in decision making. Next, strategic planning. This is the highest level of management in an organization, typically carried out by the board of directors or an equivalent body. This management level is concerned with setting long-term goals and objectives for the organization, usually over a period of 5 to 15 years. Now, imagine the board of directors of the company, they are the highest level of management in an organization, and they are tasked with doing strategic planning. And what does strategic planning comprise of? It comprises of setting long-term goals and objectives for the organization, something that the organization would achieve in the next 5 to 15 years. So very long term planning, where the organization is going to head strategically, which areas it's going to foray into. So all of these are aspects of strategic planning. So like I was just mentioning to you, strategic planning may include the following: deciding which products or markets to enter. So maybe you are doing operations in India only and you decide to enter foreign markets, maybe in the US or maybe somewhere in Asia only, like Bangladesh, or different Asian countries that you want to market your products into. So that planning is done by senior level management. Next, making investment decisions. Investment decision is in which project you want to put your money. That's done by senior management. Then third is planning for environmental changes. Now, when I say environmental here, it doesn't mean the natural environment. The environment of an organization comprises of a lot of elements like political environment, economic environment, social environment, technological environment, legal environment, and of course, the natural environment. So, whatever changes are happening in these types of environments, it is the duty or the role of the highest level of management to plan the strategy to be implemented in such cases. And then last is identifying the organization's competitive advantage. What is it that our company is really good at? So that is done by the senior management. Okay. Then next is tactical management. So first level was what? Strategic planning. And then second is tactical management. So tactical management or management control. Please remember these terms, okay? Management control is same as tactical management. You may also highlight it in your book. It is typically carried out by middle level management. Here, it was the board of directors. Here, it was the board of directors. Here, it is the middle level management. It involves taking the strategic plan, what has been drafted by the senior management. It involves taking the strategic plan and making it happen, usually over a 1 year planning period. Here it was period of 5 to 15 years. And here it is 1 year planning period. Tactical management includes the following tasks. First, ensuring that resources are obtained and used effectively and efficiently to accomplish the organization's objectives. So it is the role of the middle level management to do what? To ensure that the resources are obtained and used effectively and efficiently to do and achieve the organization's objectives. Then next is implementing strategic decisions, often through a long-term plan. So you implement the decisions which are being made by the senior management, often through a long-term plan. Then preparing annual budgets and comparing actual results with budgets on a monthly basis. And recruiting staff. So wherever you need people, you hire those people, and that's the role of middle level management. And third is operational management. So operational management focuses on the day-to-day running of the business with operational. So I hope you understand here it is day-to-day running. Day-to-day running of the business with operational managers responsible for various departments within an organization. Operational managers are involved in the following: routine planning, such as staff rotas, rosters, or schedules. Rotas are schedules basically. Making programmed decisions. So it's very systematic decisions that the operational management is involved in because they are the lower level management. So making programmed decisions based on internal transaction based, example, ordering inventory when inventory levels fall to the reorder level. These actions are usually undertaken when specific criteria or rules are met, such as ordering inventory when inventory levels fall to the particular reorder level. So there is very systematic decision making here, not much of the involvement of the managers. The policies would be set that okay, whenever the inventory levels falls to this level, the operational management has to place an order with the supplier. So it's very systematic. Everything is like a guidebook is there. What you have to do in this situation, what you don't have to do. All of that is specified by the guidebook. And that is what the lower level management or the operational management has to do. Now, please tell me if all the three types of management actions are clear to you. Go through it. Let me know if it's fine. Is it okay? The three levels clear? All right. So consider this as high, medium, and low levels of management. So an activity here for you. Let's see. Vacation Lodge runs a chain of 3-star hotels throughout the world. The company's head office is in New York, where the executive and non executive directors are based. Each hotel has a management team headed by a general manager. The other management team members are the financial controller, the room division manager, the food and beverage manager, the sales and marketing manager, and the head of security. Each hotel has a restaurant manager who manages the restaurant staff, including the kitchen chefs. Question is, describe the type of plans prepared by the directors, the management teams, and the restaurant manager. For each plan, describe the control measures. Now you have to be very specific. You have to relate to the hotel's business. So for each plan, you have to read the situation again and see. Describe control measures which can be used to see how well the plan that you only are suggesting. You have to describe the type of plans now. You have to suggest the planning and the controlling activity for the company. Okay. So I'm giving you some 8 minutes. Think about it. Draft your answer properly. What you would write in the exam if it comes. Okay. Give it a try and share your answer on the chat box. When you are done, you can use or you can create an Excel file for you. As I told you, create an Excel workbook chapter wise and make a tab activity 1. Solve your answer there and save it. Please keep saving the solutions that you are writing, and over time you will see an improvement in your answers. Okay, so solve it and let me know. Don't think whether it is right or wrong. I just want you to practice and I'll review your answers and we'll cover the correct answer, the model answer in the class. Okay, solve it and let me know. Giving you about 8 minutes. All right, so the time is up. Let's see what have you got. Okay, so Saurav was given point-wise answers for directors, strategic level planning, how we can increase the market share and promote a hotel worldwide through advertisement and promotion for increasing our revenue share. Management team, how we can modify our rooms to make it more valuable for our customers and buy 2 or more machines for a laundry service and install new parameters to increase the security. Okay. Restaurant manager, are there any more employees that we need to hire to assess the current level of customers? Very good answer. Very good answer, Saurav. Anyone else who has attempted, want to share your answer? Don't think about whether it being right or wrong. Just let me know. So let's go through the model answer and then let's compare what Saurav wrote and how, if it is good or not. I find it a very good answer anyways. The following is not an exhaustive list of the plans and controls. Any other reasonable plans and controls are also relevant. So what you wrote, Saurav, it was correct. Few elements that you can include in your answer would be from the plans and controls part. Let's see. So board of directors, 5-year financial plan and on new hotel openings. So this could be some things which you could add, but what you have covered is also good. Then controls part, actual profit versus plan monitoring progress. So you have mentioned about the planning part, but the controls element is missing. So for each plan, you had to describe control measures also, correct? So then you have covered half of it, not the controls part. So anyways, what you've written is good, but you can include these elements. The management team, annual budget, staff headcount, then compare actuals against budget. It's very important in the management team to keep the costs under control. So they keep comparing actuals against the budget. See, we even read this point over here. Preparing annual budgets and comparing actual results with budgets on a monthly basis. So that is something which is the role of the middle level management. So that they are doing that. Occupancy rate and actual versus the plan occupancy rate basically. Okay. Then restaurant manager, they will be deciding on the menu because it comprises of chefs and the kitchen staff. So they'll be deciding the menu. Then staff schedule, who will be working when. Okay. Then the controls that they can put into place are food wasted and staff attendance. so that everyone is present when they are asked to. And if, of course, there is a genuine reason for leave, then that is another case. So that is the plans and controls against board of directors, management team, and restaurant manager. Now, you don't just see what is the answer, how the answers are being covered, point wise, board of directors has been discussed first, then management team, then restaurant manager. You should always inculcate this habit that you're going to write in points so that it becomes easier for the examiner to allot marks to you. Also, cover everything that is asked. If you just write about plans, then you get half of the marks only. But if you write about plans and the relevant control measure, then you get the full marks. Okay. So going forward, I would request more of the answers in the chat box so that you can also get a review like this. So now it's going to stick with sort of that, okay, he covered only 1/2 of the answer. And then, that mistake doesn't get repeated. So for you also, please submit your answers and you can get a review like that. Okay. If you have written for this also, you can submit now. No problem. I can see it now also if you want to share. Staff turnover. Okay, so it's very these points now, these are not specific to any one order, maybe through to management team or to restaurant manager. So something can be a point for both of them also, like staff attendance, because who will be the people who are working on the ground? It is the restaurant team, correct? So therefore, staff attendance, it will come under staff turnover. If people are leaving, that will come under management team, because management and then of course operational also, because it is the people who are working in the restaurant and there are restaurant managers also. It will come under both as a control measure, like how whether you are keeping, you have the plan to keep staff for a very long duration, you want to retain staff, but how do you measure whether you are able to actually do it? It will be through staff turnover. So that you can keep at the management level, because ultimately the management team will be controlling the restaurant team also. All right, let's see. So Pratik's answer: director, strategic plans, long-term goals and purpose, expansion and partnerships. Okay, good. Reputation building, renovations and new projects. Okay. Then tactical plans, promotions and campaigns, efficiency and process improvements, hiring and training, pricing strategies, competition handling. One feedback to you, Supratik, I would suggest that you make your answers more specific to the question scenario, because the question was about hotels and restaurants. So if you could just slightly tweak the words in a way that it reflects hotels and restaurants better, that will improve the quality of your answer. Otherwise, the points that you've mentioned is they are fine. It's just that you need to tweak them, because most of the questions, most of the theory questions that you're going to see in the paper, they will be related to a scenario. So start building that habit, how you can relate to the question specific scenario. Is it clear, sort of your query also, staff turnover point? Got it? Okay. All right. Now let us understand the cost of information system. Cost of information system include pre-implementation development costs, analyzing current business processes and determining how they will be automated in a new system. So what is the cost of implementing and developing the information system? That is a cost of information system. Then next is initial setup cost, expenses for hardware, software licensing, example based on the number of users, and installation costs. So these are a part of initial setup costs of information system. Then data conversion, converting historical information, example from paper documents, and converting them into spreadsheets. So whenever the companies, they plan to transition from paper to paperless mode, that is digital mode of information system, they have to incur this cost of conversion. Then modifications and system upgrades, adapting and improving the system over time. So you improve the system. It's not like a one-time affair to create an information system, but important is to maintain it with the updated data. Then adapting and improving the system over time. I think this got repeated here. This will be modifications and system upgrades. That means you keep on modifying as per the requirement. And then, of course, you improve the system over time, that for internet access and other communication needs. So as the systems and the softwares develop, of course, you must be realizing how much technology has changed over time. So a company which had set up an information system maybe in 2005 cannot use the same information system today. They would have upgraded their system. So you have to adapt and improve the system over time, maybe to adapt the new type of technology. Okay, so that these are the costs of information system. And what are the benefits? The main benefit of an information system is its ability to provide users with the information they need to work efficiently. Additional benefits depend on the specifics of the information provided. For example, strategic information provides strategic management, that is the senior level management, with an overview of the entire business. The ability to extract customized information saves time and clerical expense, enabling many business decisions to be delegated to lower levels. If you are able to extract customized reports, you are saving the time of the operational staff. So you can give them more work, you can delegate them more important work rather than making them do clerical stuff. So information system helps you to prepare those customized reports. Then a system is more efficient because data is easier to use, allowing the same to be presented in customized formats like lists, tables, graphs, and charts for different users. So you can use the data in different format. If you have data in Excel, you can convert it in charts also, tables also, and different presentation techniques can be applied on the same data. That is the benefit of an information system. And information provided in real time, that means you getting updated information, can drive improvements such as better meeting the customer needs. Okay, so I'll give you an example here. Like when I was working in Flipkart, you would be knowing one of the biggest sales of the years are Big Billion Day sales. And we would be sitting in the office at 12 at night when the sale would go live, because I was in the fintech division, and I was handling the credit cards part of it. So, and credit cards and the bank offers. So when the sale would go live, all of us, and I'm telling you, every entire team would be there in the office at 12, and we'll go home at around 4 to 5 in the morning. There's another thrill to it, but okay, not talking about that right now. So we would sit in front of a live screen where the number of orders and the sale value of those orders are getting updated in real time, and it used to be so exhilarating to see those numbers growing in seconds. Okay, so we could plan a lot of things on the basis of those numbers. Okay, like how much should be the discount, and all of that is tracked real time. Okay, so you would really, I mean, of course, big companies, all of the big companies, they are using information systems. And if there is real time information in those systems, it can help to drive a lot of improvements. Okay, so these are the benefits of information systems. So there are costs, of course, to set up, to maintain, to upgrade an information system. There are, of course, benefits to it also. Okay, are we clear, everyone? Simple topic. What is an information system? How different levels of management use it. So what are the different levels of management? Strategic planning, tactical management, and operational management. And what are the costs and benefits of information system? Okay. So on that note, we will pause here for the day. Okay, and then we will meet on Wednesday. So PM classes are MWFS, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. So we'll be meeting next on Wednesday. You can revise these two pages, and of course, I'll be sharing across the orientation class notes. You can go through them. Okay. Thank you so much for joining us today. We'll see you on Wednesday. Bye-bye, and please take care of yourself. Thank you.